It's
Tabletop time!
I'm Rob, and I'm playing Brick, a Phelan cool bodyguard who has been entrusted with making sure one of our compatriots is safe.
I'm Jen, and I'm playing the beautiful Catalina. And fun fact about Catalina, she really likes almonds.
Really?
Yep.
And I'm Dave, and I'm playing the Sparrow. And when he's not gutting you like a fish, he's probably thinking about gutting you like a fish.
And I'm Jazz, the narrator of this campaign. And I was just very tempted to say almonds are not native to Thanisia. So you're wrong, no.
Well, she likes them anyway.
They're imported goods.
They don't
obviously.
exist, actually.
She likes
so
almond-shaped nut. Oh, jeez. Okay, anyway.
off to a roaring start. Speaking of roaring start, oh, yes.
I made a nest. Well, I didn't make it.
For our podcast
Amy made a
listeners,
nest.
unfortunately, you missed out on the amazing visual of not only the mask. Are they both made by
Yes.
the same person? Okay. The nest of fingers has been provided by one of our team members as a lovely contribution for us to share and enjoy, which is amazing.
So now we have to look at that every day.
I love it so dearly.
It's so cool.
Maybe
It's like,
Dalvin likes
looks
almonds as
amazing.
well. Because you can process them into cyanide.
I don't doubt it at all. But let's jump straight into it because there's a few housekeeping things we need to jump into straight away before we leap into the roleplay. And the first is you all get a destiny point for incredible roleplay and a skill point to allocate as we reach the end of the season.
Oh.
And you guys have also just undergone a huge amount of interesting character development and work and pushing yourself out of your comfort zones. So, what are we thinking we're going to spend it on, people? You don't have to spend it straight away. You can save the session if you want to, but you've probably got this session and next session.
Don't be sad. It's okay. I'm going to spend mine on mana.
Which one? So
Definitely mana, because as much as getting a skill point in the one that I have 2 mana would be useful, I feel like constantly not having any mana is too big an issue, and being able to being able to reliably detect magic.
yeah.
And I think better the advantage we know how to leverage than one we're not sure of because I don't have it yet.
Yeah.
So
I've been thinking a little bit about your ability too, by the way, this whole detect magic thing. And I think the way to do it in a way that's probably kind of fairest is that you can cast a detect magic to a certain level. So you might say, I'm going to cast a level 1 and it'll be a challenge level 1. And then I will be able to tell you where and when magic up to a level 1 spell is being cast. So you'll be able to detect low level magic. So with 2 mana.
wouldn't it be inversely more?
Pardon?
Wouldn't it be inversely easier to detect? So like a level 1 detect would be more likely to detect level 4, and then it wouldn't detect the low level.
Except that more powerful magic could be executed more skillfully and also be harder to understand.
This feels like a nerf. It feels like a nerf.
Does it?
It feels like a big nerf.
Okay. Well,
You can nerf it. You're all within your rights to nerf
I
it.
don't know. It's all in development.
It
Do you know what?
feels-
I'm open to input. I'm open to your input, and I'm also into
My input
in the comments.
That is, the detect magic feels like the read emotions. It's the base level, it doesn't do anything, but it gives you information. And I don't think it should have
So
a
to
skill
the
tier
same
thing.
degree that there's a higher read emotions, so it gives you more people and more information. So I guess that would be it then. So a detect magic spell with one.
It's kind of like a little cone.
One
but
level of
if I
detect
put
magic.
more, I could detect
Yeah.
a larger array.
So
or maybe
with,
get more
with
information.
one with a level 1 detect magic, you sort of have to aim at something specific.
Yeah, sure.
But if you want to have a sense of the room constantly, if it's level 1, you'll get twinges in directions. But if you have a high level,
I think that feels like a better way
That
to
makes
expand
sense.
it. And then if I, for some reason, at some point did like a level 4, it would be like every fucking magic in
Yeah.
the city block is like a little raid light on your
and
ping,
you'll know what it
you
is and where it comes
Yeah.
from. And okay, cool.
That feels good.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because otherwise, I'm just like
I want it to
immediately
feel good.
unable to use it.
Yeah, no,
Because I
fair
can
enough.
only do level 1.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
Makes sense.
that's what I'm doing. I want mana.
Woo.
I'm sick of not having mana.
Okay. So you got 1 point in your vocation.
Because I already have a skill point. So now I can actually potentially detect magic and then try and do something with it. Because consistently I failed the roll.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, there is magic.
Fire.
Yeah! Yeah, fire skill.
I think that after Catalina learnt that she could summon a fireball beach ball.
You don't
It
have to
makes
give that back. though.
total sense. It makes total sense because you super stretched yourself there. So now, you should be able to be like, yeah, I can do this now. So basically, that first fireball thing you summoned, you can do that now.
Woohoo.
It's like
It's
like the size of like a small rock melon or a large grapefruit. You can you can do that.
Right.
But see,
But if you succeed that and you keep your mana, then you can manipulate it or do
What's
things
the
with
damage on that?
It'll be a default 1.
but it's like unblockable, right?
Yeah.
And is it
It's like
prolonging?
no strength, no armor, negating it. It does the damage.
They don't even get a roll.
Yeah.
And then does it go, like if let's say they catch on fire, do they take
You
negatives?
can manipulate it. Yeah, it could do. It depends on how it unfolds.
Okay.
And the cool thing with me taking mana and you taking that is with 2 mana, just a gentle amplification is something I might be able to actually
Yeah,
do
great.
without costing
Yeah.
us both everything.
Yeah.
Great.
Like
Love
my
it.
soul.
Yeah.
So we could burn someone together.
You guys are
We
so
can touch
romantic.
tips again.
It's going to be
Young
hot
love.
when we burn them alive.
All right. And Brick, what are you thinking?
I'm confused. Wait. Satanic Llama, can you link that?
Okay, I think a lot of people are confused right now.
He's reading Twitch chat.
Yeah.
You reading Twitch live chat from
Should
the
we
live
come
stream
back?
we're doing
Should we
right
come
now?
back to
Brick
skill
has a
point because
demon.
we tend to
here's
get
the thing.
stuck on your skill point.
We do, and here's the thing. Do you remember last time I had to put a skill point in something and I couldn't decide what I wanted to put it into? And you were like, put it in your weapon. I'm like, I can't put it in my weapon because my bodyguard's not good enough. And then you said, and I'm like, I don't want to put it in bodyguard because if I put it in bodyguard, it doesn't make a difference because I don't do bodyguard checks. And they're like, yeah, but the next time you can put it in a weapon skill. And then I opened my character sheet and it's 3, not 2, even though it was 2 early game. And they're saying that at the end of episode 16, I took 1 in bodyguard.
Well, what else would you have put it in? You did. You were really dejected. You were like, I guess I put it in bodyguard.
Yeah.
So you can put it in your weapon.
Fuck yes!
There you
But
go.
wasn't your bodyguard capped at 2?
It says capped 2 early game.
I'm happy to give you. Yep. You've earned it.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
Hey, you know what though? Everyone's got a sweet little upgrade there. That's
Yeah.
nice.
I disagree. Now we have a disparity of strength that has just grown. I now don't
Guys.
feel confident against Brick.
I got this.
He's the only one without magic. Give it to him.
True.
And general knowledge.
You both have,
deception,
like, 2
infiltration,
kinds of
survival,
magic, yeah.
Stealth, sleight of hand.
All I need
If
to
all
do-
Brick has is I hit hard, let him hit
All I
really
need to do
hard.
is win. All I need to do is win 1 combat roll with daggers. I enter close combat.
And in my dying breath, I will grab your heart out of your chest and crush it as I bleed to death.
I mean, if you
Just
succeed,
because
This
you're right.
is
does not mean
romantic.
we
I
will-
love it so
I will
much.
die
Okay.
killing you.
We're going to,
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
on that note,
We'll see
maybe
how
not
you're-
on that note.
You'll be like, I will die epically. 6 1s. I die really sadly.
Yeah, and then you also roll 6 1s and your knife breaks.
No! No, I pull my own heart out.
It's going to be like the most boring, bloody combat ever. You miss, your knife breaks, you trip.
Oh, God. Okay.
are we ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's enter a very dark, dingy room. Brick feels the chill of the cold cell waft against his arms. And then a gasp and a voice. You're here. I didn't think you would come. Brick, is it really you?
I'm assuming I see Medela.
Yeah, oh, barely. Through the dark, you see a short figure. But the interesting thing is you actually see 2 Medelas. See one looking directly at you, standing a few meters away, and another in the corner of the room, leaning against the wall from the floor, seemingly unconscious.
Hello, little one.
I was waiting. I didn't know if it was my imagination, but the way these things have worked. Listen. I don't know what is happening, but I have had these vivid dreams for some time. And recently, it has been either dreams that feel like they are truly a return to a time and place, or dreams where I just see people I miss in different contexts, but it was confirmation to me that you were in one of these dreams that was a place you have never been. It was my history. I knew I was there, but you were there too for some reason. I thought I would see you again. I waited up all night last night, and you didn't come, so I thought I must have been going mad. But you're here, aren't you?
I am here. I do not know what is happening.
Let me show you something. And in a brief moment, you feel a slight pulse, and you're in the same place. The medailla on the floor is somewhere else. And you hear talk outside the room.
Fear not. Weeks from now, we shall be in Felmore together, and you and your people will be avenged, and we can finally be lovers as we dream to be, surrounded by art and beauty, endless power. The world will be ours.
Spoken by someone walking through a corridor outside to someone else. This was, I think, 2 days ago. I don't know who he was talking to, but perhaps it means something to you. I can visit places in my dreams, places I have been, and with exact detail, replay these memories exactly as they were. I haven't been able to hear or notice much since I've been in here, but I know that this Ainsley man, he's plotting. And I'm hoping you haven't forgotten me.
I could never forget you, little one.
Well, I was hoping you might be able to come find me again.
I'm trying.
Is there anything you want to see? Is there anywhere that would help you? Anything I can show you?
Would you know where Ainsley is at the moment?
I don't know. I haven't been outside this cell since I last saw you. Wait. And there's some clattering you hear outside. Wait, this is this moment. So you're actually in the present now. You felt that sort of a similar pulse, and Medela on the floor is back in her original position. And you hear another voice outside.
I don't want it! I don't want it anymore, and I ain't gonna tell you. No matter what you do to me, I ain't snitching no more. There's good people in you. You're a shit stain on the ass of Sunder, you are.
Medela turns to you looking confused and says, I remember that voice. I remember that. And as she starts to speak, you feel pulled from your dream and you start waking up. Almost, I'm tempted to say almost another full day has passed in resting. I actually want to put it to you guys. I want to give you guys a choice. I think, do you guys want to spend a full day, 24 hours resting, at which I will allow a full replenishment of your health and magic? Or do we want to roll for it?
I would like to do that, but I would like to, at least in brief, play it out.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so I don't think we should spend forever on it, but I think there's some moments.
You ain't going out adventuring, but you're
we
in
just get
recovery
in town.
mode. Yeah,
We'll wake up after a sleep and then kind of work out what the hell we do with the day
I think that's a good plan.
and kind of come to terms with each other in the light of dawn.
So let's pick up, I think, especially after the preceding days. I'm going to say it'll be like 11 or midday the next day before the first of anyone waking would be coming to. And what are people's first orders of business? Everyone's been sharing just this one room with a very large bed, Collar's room. You actually notice at the end of the room on the writing table that's full of all sorts of clutter, there's actually a few simple little meals sitting there. They're cold, but they've been there for you.
Where is Madame? What is her name? I've forgotten what it
Eladra.
is. Eladra. Where is she?
You don't know.
Don't know. Oh, cool. That's cool. Okay. I will play my harp, if that's allowed, or do we wait for a full recovery?
I think for you to fully recover your magic, you will have to find time.
That's cool.
In this period of time. So it doesn't have to be now, but I do think...
I'm happy to say that Catalina usually doesn't sleep in. Like, she usually wakes up really early, she plays a harp, that's her routine. But she's also never been this exhausted before.
Yeah.
So for her, it's really rare that she would do this, but she's just basically gone today's... Right now, it's a write-off. Like, she just wants to sleep in and recover because it's been a lot for her. So she won't play when she wakes up.
Okay. She won't play when she wakes up.
Correct.
Okay. Holding it back a little bit.
Yeah. Just out of routine.
All right.
Today's going to be a day of relaxation, don't worry.
How does Delvin feel waking up after spending all that time spilling all his secrets?
Delvin wakes. Looks left and right. His hand white-knuckled, clutching a dagger against his chest. And then sees Cat sitting up on the edge of the bed, and Brick seems to be stirring, I'm guessing. And just slowly, their knuckles unclench. And then... Well, good morning. He sort of tries to pass off his sudden awakening.
Is everything all right?
I guess. I think. Sure.
Well, your friends left some food. Maybe we should eat.
Oh, absolutely. Food's a good start of the day.
Does it have any meat in it?
Yeah. Sorry. It's just a mixed slob of what they have.
Try and pick out the stuff that I think. Maybe just bread on the side
There's
or something.
not a lot left. I'm sorry.
That's
There's
fine.
like some greasy toast.
Catalina will go find her own
Without-
food if she has to.
Without any kind of discussion, when Delvin walks up to the food, he just like forks over to your plate and stabs it into whatever meat non-vegetarian thing is there and just puts it in his bowl and then like slides the bread off his plate across onto Cat's and like scoops off a bunch of the non-meat stuff but like picks out the meat and is like, if you ain't gonna eat it, I will. Just get stuck into some meat slop.
Yeah, that's it.
If I'm stirring from my dream, do I need a roll to see if I remember it?
Not at this stage. And I'm going to say you start waking conscious of two people starting to split a breakfast on the other side of the room.
Okay, cool.
Does he usually look that sweaty while he sleeps?
I haven't really watched him sleep very much. I make it a point to sleep on my own when I can.
Oh, right.
In fact, the last time I slept with other people around was when we were with that strange girl from the woods. And before then, Breck on the road a few times, but...
I guess I never gave it any thought.
Okay, well, Rick, I get up and walk over to where you're eating your food and look at it very disappointedly.
I mean, it's wet.
That's a bad thing, Cat.
Oh.
He likes it dry.
I could maybe toast it a bit.
I will get food later.
I just love the juxtaposition of the last 7 hours you've all spent together discussing deep murder conspiracy, and now it's like the breakfast kerfuffle.
I gotta be honest, like, this is vibing very hard with post one night stand vibes.
Yeah.
Everyone's got.
Did I make the wrong move? Did I?
Everyone got
I showed
dirty.
too much of myself last night, didn't I? Yeah.
There's a lot of maybe. Should I be ashamed?
Yeah.
Should I be proud? I'm not sure where we're at.
Is our relationship at the next level, or is this my imagination?
Yeah, like what's going on?
Brick stands there in the bath holding a pillow over himself.
Don't give him
Have
that.
you seen my loincloth?
Speedo that.
Rob's kidding. Anyway. Love it.
So,
Yep.
what's the plan for the day then?
I don't know about you guys, but I kind of feel really crappy. I could probably just use a day off. I know we're on a time schedule, but
What are we gonna do with any time? I think we've played our hand, and we'll have to reassess when we get to Geldervale what we can do in town. But from here, I don't know that there's much more we can do.
You,
But
you hear a few footsteps approaching the room.
I do have a few ideas of what we can do today, though. Don't worry. Come in, lovely.
Opens the door and you see Collar's face like, so we're at level, are we?
Well, I thought it might have been one of your many mistresses, Collar.
I heard some stirring. I thought it'd be a good chance to come up and bring you the message that was passed on to me.
Oh,
Someone found me, I believe, from one of your networks. I hope it helps you, I guess. I just thought I'd let you rest. You looked like you all needed it. He passes it to you.
Thanks. I look sort of slightly concerned at the letter.
He says to the group, "You're a friend. She's different. Definitely interesting to the locals."
she wasn't any trouble, was she?
No, not at all. I don't think anyone here has seen a Phelan in their entire life, so they have a lot of questions, and to be honest, she actually has a few herself. So we're getting on pretty well. She didn't need as much rest as you did, so, let's say we're all amused by each other. And he winks.
Oh.
Not in that way. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right, well, he goes to walk out, and he stops for a second. He turns back and says, she asked me what my name was. I nearly said me old one then. Well, my real one. But I didn't. I told her Collar. I hadn't muttered that name for many years for fear of what it represented, but I think that's my name again.
Proud to have sparked the fire of revolution in you again.
Lad, I think you're about to spark a whole lot more.
About time.
He nods and he just turns.
As he turns, I say, "Oh, did you hear about the fire in IRONSPIRE?"
Catalina's eyes go wide.
He stops for a second and he turns back. Actually, as a matter of fact, I did.
King of Flames went mad, attacked his own people. I say with an obvious smile.
Really?
Catalina
That's
nods.
what I heard.
Well, best if people know about something that extreme.
Absolutely. I mean, who else could cast fire magic like that?
Unstable.
Dangerous.
A whole lot in the capital.
What a mess.
Do you have any better food?
What's wrong with our food?
Oh, he'd prefer something a bit closer to leather.
Oh, yeah, we got that. That's no worries at all. That was our good stuff.
Strange palate. This
Don't
way,
worry, I'll
Michael.
get you a hunk of shit, no problem. And he walks out.
Shit.
The letter in your hands.
Yes.
It's been handled by a few people. It's a little crumply, and you open it up. And it reads, Delvin, I've recovered your mother, but it weren't without a fight. I killed the two of Ainsley's before they reached your mother with the help of one of my associates here, called in a favour of Edgar's. Your mother is safe with me. I'm heading deeper into the barrows to await word from you, otherwise your mother is in my care, and if I don't hear word from you from now, well, I'll assume it's my final assignment. Your mother will see out the rest of her days in peace and care if it's the last thing I do. Give the bastard a send-off he deserves, lad. Your man in oath and truth. Pemble.
Delvin looks down and has a moment of just thinking about it. All right, I guess. I guess things will be all right for me, Mom. I hand you the note. Take care.
Oh, this is great. This is good news.
I do wonder about my dad, though. No mention of... Pamble hasn't gone after me mom in that way, has she? I have a dad, you know.
I wasn't sure what you were suggesting. So.
Oh, I just, maybe Pamble's got a fancy for me. I'm just trying
yeah,
to...
okay, it was what I thought you were suggesting.
I'm trying to deflect from my complicated emotions,
Okay.
Kathleen. You might have noticed I do it a lot.
It's okay. It's okay. We've all been through quite a lot.
Fucking hell, that's a weight off.
I pass you back the letter.
Well, now I can kill that motherfucker without any impunity. Whew.
Agreed.
A wrong word. It's
Go
fine.
backwards.
Yeah, with impunity.
Yeah.
So, relaxation. Is there like a day spa or something nearby? We have spas in Denisio, I imagine.
Dovin's looking at the note in his hand.
Hot springs. Yeah.
Sounds delightful.
I think after all this, if we get out of it, I think we should head north.
North?
To the Barrows. I know it might sound selfish, but if this whole revolution thing's going to take off and Ainsley's taken care of, I think there won't be anywhere safer than the heart of it for us. And there's a lot of things that need to be set up there to connect Cragmouth back to the Barrows, and I've heard rumours of something wonderful happening there, and learning in Eden's there too. So
we have sent Ironspire's brightest.
So, just a thought. Might be a destination to regroup and start putting the dots together. Something to look forward to, even. I can introduce you to my home, I guess.
Catalina kind of
If
has
you
like
want.
a pain in her chest because she's kind of like, oh, I'd like to go back home. It's not like home is, yeah. So, what are we doing for today?
Well, I thought we could visit some fine establishments in this part of town that might have the sort of people who are used to providing comfort to others.
A pedicure, a foot massage, that sounds wonderful.
And I'm sure that's outside what they do usually, but I'm sure some perfumes and oils and bathing and stuff like that could be...
Sure.
You can get anything for
yeah.
coin.
Sure,
I
sounds
think
great.
it would be good to get out and stretch.
Yeah.
Imagine your neck like cracks.
Do I feel that I could get bathing and comfort and relaxation from the kind of venue that I'm thinking of? For
They
coin?
probably have a few prestige rooms, prestige in quotes for, you know, the Barrow and slums. But no, even so, like, they're the places where people invest money. So there's probably something.
I'm kind of thinking they'd make people wash. So I'm assuming bathing would be part of the thing.
For the more, for the nicer
yeah.
rooms.
Yeah. Well, I have a feeling it might be a little bit outside what you're expecting, but why not give it a crack?
Sure,
Yes.
I guess. Brick?
Yes, I'm okay with that, but I would like to get in some training before we start today.
What kind of training?
I need to practice my kata.
Right. All right.
Would you like to join?
Fuck it, why not?
Can women partake in your kata?
I do not see why not.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Well, if we're going to enjoy the finest of Baron women, we may as well enjoy the finest of
You're going to
Phelan
need space to do this. Okay. All right, so you head out. Well, here you have a couple of options because you head outside. It is a high ceiling central area. So you could, in theory, do it indoors, except as you walk out to the edge, the precipice of this balcony that then turns around to the staircase that circles the outside of the room, you'll notice that there's more than a dozen people all grouped together, sort of sitting and talking, sort of a mix of hesitance, enthusiasm, scoffing, a joke here or there. But there's definitely some mutual socializing going on here, and sort of at the center of it is Eladra, who seems quite fascinated by these people. She looks very reserved. She's sitting very properly and is still seeming to be a bit protective of herself, but at the same time, she's aware that she's been brought into someone else's domain, though it may not be one she's comfortable in, and has been looked after. It's not the comfort she would be used to, you would guarantee it. Brick knows it. But where she felt threatened, she has been made to feel safe. And you can tell she's grateful for that.
Okay.
And she turns to the group as you sort of walking in, and she looks a little bit relieved to see some higher brow company sort of emerge. You look a little more rested. That's good to see. I apologize for my demeanor when you met me. It had been a long week and evening. How are you feeling?
Still pretty wrecked, I think, and we've got a lot to think about.
Brick, you look well. Well,
Just continues to stand there,
yeah,
imposingly, arms crossed.
I imagine it's.
I take a small cue and I take a step closer and say a little bit softer, but still I'm not trying to be completely discreet. And I say, it's something you'll have to learn, is that Phelan Cull, they're just like the rest of us when given the chance. And with Brick, if you want his respect, you're going to have to earn it. It's not something you're entitled to anymore, because he ain't property. Even if paper says he is.
I stand up a little straighter.
I certainly hear what you're saying. You'll excuse that I'm an older lady and I have a lifetime of experience and understanding that is being challenged at every turn, but I also understand that I am not always right.
To be honest, you're taking it incredibly well. And Brick, I'd say that while no kind of reconciliation is likely to be possible, I think with this one at least, you could acknowledge she's making an effort at this time.
She looks really nervously sideways at you. There's a hint of hope in her eyes.
I am still very tired.
Well, I hope you feel better soon. Listen, I've spent my whole life understanding people and their places, and in the last few weeks in particular, I have, with rigidity, held on to that understanding, and it has only come to more and more suffering and harm in every direction. And yet, last night I met a group of people all entirely out of their place and station, and only looking out for others, even me. And of course, Medela. That's all I have to go by, and if that's all I have, then I must acknowledge that that is truth, that is valuable. So, for any abrasive way that I have interacted, I apologize. I just want to see my niece safe. And I thank you for working towards that.
Well, we are gonna go partake in a kata. Do you wish to join us? I know she's gonna be completely offended by this, by the way.
I might sit this one out. Everything in doses, but
Perhaps.
I have...
Sorry to interrupt,
No,
but you've been talking to these people about Phelan ways, right?
some pieces. They seem to not quite grasp a lot of it. It's all very different, as is their culture to mine, but I am in their culture, so it's a little easier for me to see what they're talking
Is
about.
this still a crowd kind of milling?
Yeah.
All right, people. If you've ever wanted to see a famous Phelan Cull war kata, now's the time. Cultural learning.
She takes a very deep, tight breath.
Oh, I'm not saying you should do it. I'm saying Brick.
Oh, no, I would never volunteer. But Well, that would be a long missed sight. She steps back to sort of clear a place.
Well, make sure your eyes are on him because I'm going to bastardize this. And then I
Carlina does a few calf
So her
stretches.
hand is on her, like the top of like her clavicle, and she's just like, oh my.
It's a cultural exchange day today.
How many people are here?
I'd say 14 around the room.
Okay.
People start clamoring back, taking the hint that from Eladra that there's space needed here.
Wait, is everyone watching or are people
Everyone's
participating?
at this point.
They're not participating.
No, it's you
We're
three.
the only
just
two
us.
participating. Yeah.
Okay, well then, yeah.
Boom!
Wow.
But he's really feeling the testosterone right now.
The pressure's on.
Yeah.
So I got a bit nervous with the audience. It is important that you start slow. You do not want to rush yourself when you're beginning, because if you do it wrong, it is a hard habit to break. So just try and follow along. I will go slowly.
Do you use your bardache to do it?
Yeah, I was gonna, but obviously they don't have one. Are there any like discarded tools?
They don't have.
broom,
You have
right?
one.
We don't.
These two.
Oh, they don't have
It's a
one.
broom
like
or
a
a.
broom.
Yeah, a card can be done with
So-
them.
Yeah, but they'll
like,
be following mine.
okay, well, if they're following yours, that yeah.
We'll give them- we'll
as you
focus.
look around the room, like Cola sort of grabs a broomstick
Yeah,
and
great.
throws it in the middle of the floor,
Catch it,
and
yeah,
someone
well.
else takes the cue and sort of picks up like a rod broken off of something. Oh, actually, no. Someone reaches out and just like yanks one of the things out from like the stairs. Like, and Cola's like, "Hey, what? You said you've been wanting to repair it for months. I'm just motivating you." Yeah, bastard. All right, go on.
Yeah. So yeah, as I said, we'll take it slow,
Cool.
and I'm gonna slowly go
Lead the
through
way.
the steps of the kata, but definitely slowly to make sure that they understand what they're doing.
Yep.
Do I need to roll?
I think you could do this will be interesting. Okay. I think you should do his combat roll. So
Yep.
whatever it is that is, it'll be a large
5
weapon,
dice.
blah, blah, blah. And you can roll an assist first and then do your kata. So let's call this first one like you guys don't have to roll. This is your assist check, and then everyone can perform, and whatever Rob gets on the assist, you get as a bonus.
I'm assisting with my combat roll.
Yeah.
Fast.
Okay.
So you're performing. Yep. This is.
Holy
I got one.
shit. You're a good teacher.
7, 8, 9.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's 6
And you watch-
successes.
I'm gonna roll.
Plus 6 wins.
I'm gonna roll like a 2 on my next roll. and just bomb it.
Amazing. Well, yeah, okay. Fair enough. Wow, that's amazing.
Well, then you're focusing on teaching us more.
That's it. That's exactly how it would play out. But okay, now everyone rolls. So with precision and care and real focus, Brick takes everyone through it. So
What are we rolling, sorry?
That's 9.
That's
9
a
for
greater than
Delvin.
impossible level.
It's
of
a reach weapon attack combat roll.
Just 5 dice.
Plus 2.
Why?
Reach weapon.
She doesn't have it.
No, I don't have one. I've got a dagger.
No, you're holding
gave
a
her a
broomstick.
broom.
Yeah.
I just rolled 5 dice.
I don't know.
Space attributes and stats. We're not trained.
You wouldn't
in it.
get that much for that. You got 1 plus
7.
6. 7, yeah. So it's clear you're like,
Holding a broom, like let's
you
be
couldn't
honest, yeah.
fight. This wouldn't
No.
do well for you in combat, but this is basically a dance.
Oh, sick, yeah. Yeah.
And as someone very familiar with the arts and probably more aware of like all that sort of stuff than a Thanisian woman should be, you pick it up really quick. Cool. And Delvin, this is another it's a war dance, so you pick that up pretty
Yeah, I
quick.
apply physicality to compensate where it doesn't. I have a lot of muscular control over my body. So
And then we need Brick's roll.
Very good. Good positioning of your feet. Raise that a little higher.
Yeah, the usuals.
Brick's roll.
hey,
4, 5, 6, 7.
Hey, well done.
holy
Fantastic,
moly!
yeah.
You
And
did
at the
it.
end of it, about 15, 20 minutes later, after 2 or 3 full pass-throughs, and by the final one, Brick is no longer really focusing as much on instructing, but you can tell he's half looking at you guys the whole time. Like his head is turned more than it would be in his normal routine. But you both are actually doing it. And by the end, there's a rhythm to it, and people are clapping, and drinks are being poured at midday in this rinky-dinky little falling apart tavern, and people are cheersing. And by the third round, people know when the moves are coming, and they're like, oh, because there's a few big swoops, and probably for a few of them, like when there's a big low sweep or whatever, one of you might improvise and jump over the shaft and do all these interesting
glare
things.
from Brick.
Yeah. And you notice even Eladra is getting swept up, and there's a glimmer in her eyes as she's holding back tears, seeing something of her homeland being shared with these people she would have never thought of as equals or worthy, who looked after her, and Brick, who once was owned by her, bringing her world into this scary place.
I'm a hell of an ambassador. Yeah.
Hell yeah, you are.
So good.
And at the end of it, the merriment picks up, and drinks are just, everyone's just like, you know what, fuck it! And it's like, it's party time! And people start getting into it. And you notice by the end of it, there's actually 4 people in the corner who are starting to gather around, and Collar sort of sits back down with them. And they sort of seem to be picking up a conversation they'd been having in the past. And Eladra slightly, sheepishly approaches Brick and says, that was very impressive. I can see you're not a day duller than with your combat. Then you must be keeping it up.
I do my best to. It was rigorously taught. Rigorously. It's hard to say. But it is hard to teach people.
You're a natural.
Wonderful.
I must admit, after the evening a while back, when you brought me in, I've had a little time to think, with some time and reflection and sobriety. I realize now that there were clues that I chose to overlook, for fear perhaps it might break my heart. But I now have come to realize I lost Dariet far before he betrayed me. So, in fact, a week before what I have learned has been the burning of the Felton Sprawl by this King of Flames. Ainsley had insisted we adjust our schedule. I was not meant to be in the city until a little later, but insisting that with my work done and being able to come and attend the events of the Spire Run, or some race he really wanted to share with Dariet and myself, I acquiesced, and, well, I didn't end up being able to finish and leave as it was planned. Well, as I thought it was planned. It turns out there was another plan.
And you were both invited to that?
My husband and myself, yes.
And when did you say it was, sorry?
But he was going to stay in my place at the Sprawl, the trading camp, and finish my work there.
But he got invited to the Spire Run.
Well, I believe he was going to leave when I was going to leave IRONSPIRE, so I imagine he would have been at the camp when... She takes a deep breath.
And so this was not before everything happened.
Well, I left before everything happened, but he was to stay until, I suppose, around now. Were he alive?
Right. Rick.
Yes.
You didn't happen to recognize anyone specific when we were in Felton, sorry. In the ashes.
I'm assuming we're looking for like a recollection to see whether or not I saw
his body.
I'm going to say at this point you don't recall.
I do not recall, but the townspeople were quite insistent there was only one survivor.
Unless someone wasn't there. You wouldn't be called a survivor if you weren't at the incident.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
have my suspicions around Ainsley now that everything is a lie. So if there's a chance your husband was invited away discreetly to spend some time with Ainsley prior to your arrival at the Spire Ranch, were you to, he might not have been in Felton. But I don't want to get your hopes up.
Oh, my hopes have been dashed to pieces enough that it wouldn't matter to me either way, but, I mean, and the more I think about it, if they were truly lovers, why would he stay? Then the question is, does Ainsley love Dariet, or is that also a lie?
Right. So what use is Dariet to Ainsley? What did you trade in? What did you work with?
Well, art and beauty, as he called it.
And your husband loved that, art and beauty?
Oh, he's a romantic. I am the politician, and he is the soft one.
And you're well connected.
Well, yes. At least in the arts.
Do I know them at all now that they've kind of been like, oh.
I'm going to get you to roll a...
Actual trade check?
Yeah, go on.
An actual,
Yeah,
the
go on.
only
Yeah, go on,
actual
all
one
right.
at the table?
I will make this difficult, though.
That's cool.
Uh,
I'm only rolling
challenge
5
level
dice.
4.
Yep.
You're only rolling 5 dice?
Yep.
Why?
Because that's my trade barter.
Really? That's untrained.
I'll let you re-roll that one. You got 3 and that one's angled.
No, you only have 1 point in trade barter. 2, so you should have
3.
6. Oh, because, yep. It's not a combat skill.
No. Boop. Okay.
That's 2. No?
That's 3.
3. Oh, no.
I'm going to say you know of a few,
Do I...
but he wouldn't come to your mind immediately by name or image.
Do I... You know that Phoenician
You often
painting?
trade through representatives, so you may not have traded with him directly.
Okay.
Someone like Ainsley.
That Phoenician painting that was on the wall in Ainsley's mansion?
Well, the one that what Phoenician painting?
There was a painting you pointed
just
out to
noticed
me.
one that was very beautiful and
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no correlation at all
okay.
to me.
Just a beautiful painting.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like you were asking a question.
Yeah. I'm just checking I'm not missing any
Make another
dots.
trade barter roll.
Okay.
Challenge level. I'll give this one a 4 as well.
3.
Okay. No.
Well,
There's almost dots that want to connect, but
Or I didn't notice anything
it's
in
like
that.
there's something sitting there that's nagging at you, but no.
Okay.
that leaves, in my mind, a couple of options. Ainsley seemed completely in control and on top of the world when he saw us. So, option 1, he was playing Darius like a fool and he didn't care a whit about him. But if he was an art trader that was strongly valuable to get Ainsley into Felmore, surely he'd seem upset. He doesn't seem upset about Felton burning.
Does Brick feel any inclination to have input at this point?
I'm assuming we're referencing the earlier dream. I don't know if I remember.
You
it.
do.
He
I
did.
told
He
you
said
you
you
did.
did. And you remembered all previous dreams. That's what he said.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Because you asked and I gave you the
No,
answer.
I'm positive you said.
No,
like,
he did.
You were
have
just
it.
super focused on your card. It's fine.
Yeah, he literally
So
said.
it all rushes in the middle of this conversation. It all rushes to Brick's mind as if you know when you're trying to remember a dream and you can't, and then all of a sudden you do. Bit of that happens.
Delvin, you have an ability to sense abilities in others.
Right.
I've been having strange dreams. Very vivid. In places I've been and places I have not been. But Madela is always present. And last night, I had another dream. She was alone and cold in a cell. But she spoke to me. It seems so real. Could it have been real?
Medela's got the gift, Brick.
Wait, what?
Medela. She's magic.
I kind of hide away from Roger. You didn't think to tell me?
I am certain Medela has the spark of magic in her. I didn't say anything, guys, not to hide it from you, but because I thought at the time that knowledge would only bring danger to Medela and it wouldn't bring anything positive. We couldn't help her, so if it got out or if we were overheard talking, she'd be a target. So
That's fine. Did she speak to you at all?
We did speak, and if we can believe it is real, then we may have some problems.
Well, do these dreams occur every night?
Most nights.
What if you asked her something specific, like what the weather was like? Then wouldn't she theoretically be able to confirm that it was real? Just a thought.
I believe it.
It did not feel like a normal dream.
And what's the harm in hearing it? What did she say?
As I said, she has been inside a cell since we last saw her. It is not good.
I don't know about that, Brick. It's not good for her well-being, yes, but it may in fact be the opposite of a complication. At the very least, if we go to help her, we won't have to deal with Medela's conflicting feelings. If he's been open in his hostility towards her, then we don't have to fight for her heart as well as her mind and body.
That is true.
There wasn't anything else?
Well, she was able to show me, or let me hear a conversation she heard outside her cell. It was not much, but it was definitely Ainsley. He is plotting something 2 weeks from now. 2 days ago. And he was talking to someone that he claimed he loved.
And then the pieces start to fit together.
Elijah's wide eyes are just like,
Oh, you're still here.
that bastard.
And he sewed your niece right under your nose.
That bastard. And she steps to the side and like she yanks a mug of ale from one of the nearby people. It was like, oh yeah, I was drinking that. And she like downs it and throws it on the ground, just like, oh, these men in this world, what is it about you all?
I'm quite good at net removing them, don't worry.
Sold for what? Empty passion with a lying grade and
Yeah, what an asshole. We should do something about it.
This is I'm sorry, but this is fantastic.
Excuse me?
He's alive.
Oh, I'm not so sure that that's fantastic. Because I will kill him when I see him.
Good.
If I see him.
That's the first weakness we found in Ainsley. Because option one, he loves him. In which case, there's no weakness greater than love. Option two, he needs him. That's another thing that Ainsley is going to want desperately. So he either loves him and then he's going to miss him, or he needs him for his plan. Either way, he's valuable to Ainsley. So we can leverage that.
We have been to Geldervale before. I could spend some time trying to figure out if he... Surely he would not be foolish enough to step outside of... No. If they have some plan, then it must hinge on him being assumed dead, or... And if there is such animosity and confusion about fallen people... I don't know what to think anymore.
Not many people have a dungeon on the guest room of their house, so there might be room for a clandestine operation. I don't know,
Sorry, what?
quite like it means being sneaky like. I quite enjoyed the idea of walking in with my very own cloche. That's a fine dining thing. And presenting a little part of his lover towards him. That would be a great way to enter the bargaining table with Ainsley, don't you think?
That's a creative idea.
Oh, I'm full of them.
Yeah.
There was one other thing you should know.
Right.
At the end, I heard your little sneak thief screaming.
What was he screaming?
I think they're trying to torture him and get information out of him. And he did say that he would not be telling them more.
Well, he didn't know much. I wonder if the something that he did tell him was what got them to find the cart in IRONSPIRE.
Maybe it's how our assassin has been tracking us.
No, I imagine that was after he got captured. But that means that at least Mikey's in the same place that Medela is.
Convenient.
And how the fuck did he get there? You shouldn't be able to travel that fast.
It would have been in real time. So as Brick woke up, that was being heard. Just thought I'd clarify that.
But it's a fucking good leg of rapid travel to take an aggravated teenage boy.
Those messenger
into
horses.
Geldervale. So I'm just saying, like, that's raising
on
some
the same day
flags.
that you went from Cragmuth to IRONSPIRE and back, it's not outside the realm of possibility by any stretch that someone could get from Cragmuth to Geldervale.
Okay.
And you went the long way back from IRONSPIRE to
that,
Cragmuth.
that means our tail isn't even following us anymore, likely. So the plan to trap him in the woods outside Geldervale?
There was a plan to do that?
I swear I've been telling you. Maybe that one was with the Children of Amar. Anyway, if he's not following us right now, that's kind of pointless.
Well,
You told them before you told us.
About what? Medela?
Not you.
Oh, the old lady with the shawl that is blind but sees inside you.
Melba.
Oh yeah, that's Melba. I'm really fucking out of it today. She knew. She didn't have to ask. She knew since Fellbrook.
okay.
She doesn't mind, by the way. So I mean,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, clearly.
If you guys were still on a bit of an ethical fence about either me or the Children of Amar, they are definitely okay with the kind of work I do. So just be aware of that.
I don't know whether that is a good thing or a bad thing. But either way, look, I think that, and I gesture to Eladra and say, I believe we are all in agreement. We're going for
Kill
Ainsley.
your husband. We're going for Ainsley.
I see. I'm out of my depth at this point.
For a firm handshake and to help his business deals, Brick.
I'm afraid I might not have the stomach to hear about anything that transpires, but I can certainly help in whatever way I am able to make sure Medela can get out alive.
I steal someone else's. I just tap him on the shoulder and I'm just like, I borrow that for you, thanks. And I just gesture towards her probably now empty cup and I say, let's cheers on it. Let's
That's
make a promise.
recovering alcoholic.
Oh,
She had a beer in her
it's
hand.
been a week. A long week. It's gotten me through.
All right.
I don't
Okay.
usually have a problem. It's been a very long week.
All right, as you were. I was just looking
I
after
hear
you.
I'll take another drink.
I cheers her.
Listen, I know very little about you all other than that you are extremely competent and driven and know a lot more than I do about a lot of confusing things. But I would wish with all my heart to be able to take Medella's hand and lead her through the rest of her life and see her become the beautiful young woman she deserves to be. So, there's no need to find a home for her after if that's what you're looking for.
If she'll have you. I have a weird feeling that after all this.
Don't shut.
What?
Yes, we'd love for you to be a part of this. Obviously not in the fighting way, but
Obviously not in
Yeah.
the fighting.
yeah, we definitely need your help.
But she might have liked to see the barrels, that's all.
To new
One step at a time.
friendships.
And cheers.
You two are just gonna sit there.
I don't have a drink.
Just grab one. These
I
people-
don't. I'm. Water, please. Thank you.
Cheers.
Great.
And drinks are had.
Oh my gosh.
So we have the day ahead of us to rest and recover, and you'll have to spend another evening here, and you'll be fully recovered. Just make sure to get your heart practicing, Catalina. What does everyone want to do?
Oh yeah.
I'd like to take you all to an establishment where we can get some sort of relaxation.
Catalina's gonna take her up with her.
Oh, that would be lovely. A bit of entertainment. Maybe we
You
can
don't know
get...
that. I'm kidding. Essential.
It's a fucking harp. How do you hide
It's in
it?
a bag. It's not a harp. It's
I
a
know
harp.
what's in your bag. So if you take your harp bag
Yeah.
and it's full, I'm going to assume it has a harp in
It's
it.
none of your business.
She says, harp bulging out of her harp
I
bag.
can keep secrets too.
All right, Catalina. Very discreet harpsichord you got there.
Oh, the harp's out of the bag now.
Shall we go to my fine establishment?
Let's.
The day crew are usually an interesting lot, so we'll see what it's like.
I kind of look around at the current crew and
Right.
I think we'll fit right in.
I lead them to the brothel.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
the what?
So a few blocks away, a place this Sparrow has been before. Delvin leads you.
Didn't have a mask on.
No, that's true. And there's a security staff at the door who is one of the, not their A-game security because they don't really have most of their clients during the day, but they have protection. So he's sort of standing out. Actually, the streets seem... Everyone roll a perception check.
I literally just reached for a D20.
I've done that twice now. I've been like, oh,
Yeah, our D&D regular weekly's back on, so we get a little bit.
What did you get, Delvin?
2. Just terrible.
Okay.
oh.
Oh, 2 for Catalina.
Come on. Get the hat trick.
Oh, Joe.
3, 4 for
Whoa,
Brick.
you're rolling hot tonight.
Okay. So I'm going to say, Delvin and Catalina, as you walk through the streets, you would notice that it's not super tense. It did feel more tense when you were on your way in. And it's been, a full day and a bit. But people seem pretty focused on other stuff. And there's a lot of people just sort of talking to each other but there's sort of a more, I don't know, interesting stuff happening elsewhere that people seem to be getting behind. Brick definitely hears people talking about this Sparrow, but they're all saying, you got 4. So I'm going to say when you notice Barrowans talking to each other, you hear, based on all the stories you heard, some truths. But if you see a Graydon or a guard walking past or something, you actually notice them raise their voice and say something weird and odd or too malicious or completely irrelevant and unconnected to the Barrowans. So there's something that people seem to be sort of doing here.
There is something people seem to be doing here.
Right. What?
They are acting very strange.
In what way, Brick?
Those guards are being overly aggressive.
Actually, sorry, I'm going to correct you there. They're not. The guards you see walking through the street are looking down and being completely unaggressive.
You said malicious.
No.
Who are they
The
talking about?
stories about the sparrow are more malicious, or you know what I mean. But actually, the guards themselves are seemingly just trying to walk through as quick as possible and
Okay.
keeping to themselves.
I mean, the guards are keeping quiet and walking by themselves, but there is a lot of talk about your friend.
And I do suppose there would be. I have word that that was his will to be talked about. So the right people knew his message, and other people didn't have anyone to trace it back to.
Very well.
Sometimes it's best if some people think there is a devil waiting around the corner for him, and others an angel.
You step up to the establishment.
And I remember that Jesus was established as part of the Sunder canon and also Judeo-Christian heaven and hell symbology. Gosh, it's so hard to break away from just natural conversations.
Yeah. He side-eyes the group. Like curious if you're actually walking towards the door that he's standing in front of.
I walked directly up to him.
Alright.
I was hoping that in this part of town, discreetly, there aren't many places to get comfort. So we were looking for some tender care and bathing and all that sort of stuff. If you've got places suitable.
Well, there are cleaner baths in Cragmouth. But sure, if you're looking for that at midday, you're an odd group to be looking for baths and comfort at midday.
We've had a long few, and
Look, I won't question.
right.
He sort of leans back and says, "Oh, Jeff, go on." Jeff comes up. Fucking my name's too. Jesus.
Group booking, Jeff. It's a group booking.
All right, come on then. He leads you through. That's Jeff. Hello.
Fine establishment you're running here, buddy.
And it's
Thank you. I take pride in it.
so. Love him. How far into the establishment does it take before Catalina, who's probably never stepped in this place or a place like it in her life, realizes it's a brothel?
It's immediately apparent to you. Catalina rolls a 5, which means
It's
what?
just pretty fucking. Where have you taken it? What?
I'm going to... okay, I'm going to roll a destiny roll myself here. Okay. You notice a few sights and sounds that aren't super apparent because there are discretion curtains to a degree, but they're not ladylike, especially in your experience. It's not a highly active building at this time of day, but as a Thanisian woman,
Well,
in this establishment, this is not appropriate.
yeah, like I imagine Thanasia has like pleasure parlors or like, but not to the brothel sort of. Like, is it a different kind of?
I'm gonna say, kind of reversed. If
Sure.
anything.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
I get you. Where are we?
I don't, but that's great. That just would straight over my head. Cool. Where are we?
What is this place? Where have you taken
It's a place where people who don't feel human come to feel human.
Sure. Go on.
Oh, it's a brothel.
Okay.
Have you never been? Oh, I'm
No.
sure you have.
Jeff glances back and is like, "You're just giving her the full tour then of what these parts of town."
I don't know if I want.
No, I want
I don't know if I want the full tour.
I want to be treated like a human, so I'd like to be have an access to room and bathing and a bit of company that's nice. And no, we don't have to do the things that you think we have to do.
Jeff laughs. He says,
Most people come here to be treated like a hog or a baby.
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
I would like to be treated like a hog.
what is this turning into?
I just wanted to say it.
Wow.
I just wanted to say it.
Wow. Okay.
I just want the scene from
He
The
walks you
Witcher
through
where
to the
Jaskier
back.
gives me a bath.
There are a few hot baths that are ready, one that is being emptied, and one very large naked man asleep in the back corner in one of them. It's a less clean one, but is unconscious.
Excuse me, kind Jeff? Was it Jeff?
Yeah.
Jeff?
It's me, Jeff. Yes.
Yes. Do you perchance have a private suite?
Yeah, we got those.
Great. I'm willing to pay a lot of money for it.
Sure. Follow me.
Okay, they have a private suite.
You went to one. It just didn't have a bath.
Right. So the baths are here.
There's a couple of like VIP rooms.
Okay. Why didn't we go straight for the VIP room? Wait, am I going with you? Is it room for one or how many baths are in there?
I'm going to Destiny roll.
Okay.
How many VIP
I'm
rooms?
taking this room.
There are 3 VIP rooms. There you go.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Now,
There are 3 VIP rooms.
Fucking
we'll
Jeff.
buy them all. And I'm assuming you have whatever comfort you want. Can I have
Great.
a moment with Brick, please?
I follow I assume he just like, follow me or...
Follow me.
He takes you to a private room.
Pay up front, please.
Sure.
Brick.
What's your interest, male or female?
Does it matter?
Not to us.
What have I done? That's not what I was picturing in my head.
Both?
What tickles your pickle,
I
love?
was picturing like the Game of Thrones.
Catalina's just assuming this is to like get like waited on, not anything else. So she's just kind of like, what does it matter what gender it is?
How do you enjoy a romp?
I don't eat steak. I'm sorry. I
A
don't.
fuck. How do you enjoy being fucked? Is that what you're here for?
No! Excuse me, sir.
Jeff is the worst.
I just, he told me it was.
I'm your fucking concierge. What do you want?
You can get. I hear the raised voice.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can get like a back rub. You don't need to fuck him.
Yeah, that's that. I'll have that.
All right, well, that's no problem too. You don't, some people aren't interested in anything in particular.
Stop shouting. Keep shouting.
He sort of wanders up and like discreetly opens a curtain and says, we've got another boring one. Easy time for you then.
Hallelujah.
You said you didn't mind if it was
No.
boy or girl. Okay. The curtain opens and there is a 6 foot tall, very wide, not super muscular, but not fat, just very broad lad. He looks like he works the farms. and-
Jason Momoa, done. Awesome.
Yeah,
Great. Hey, buddy.
Your only descriptor was very white, and your brain's like,
Wide.
Jason.
I said
Wide. Or I've got Kylo Ren, but I'm just Jason Momoa first.
What is even happening? Okay.
I don't know,
yeah.
but it's great.
Turns out those arms are really good for giving a massage. Yeah.
Perfect.
So you have a lovely bath.
Perfect. I will tip him.
Yeah.
Good job.
Oh
yes.
my God.
Fantastic.
And you, good sirs.
All right, Brick.
Delvin, what have you gotten us into?
A good time? Did you ever have like a massage? Or have you ever been touched tenderly?
I do not know if a massage would work very well for my kind. We are quite physically dense.
Well, I'm sure there's some strong, strapping lads here who can take care of some knots for you. Some nuts for you.
Jeff sort of wanders back, says, all right, you two haven't made your minds up yet.
Right, I would like, and I pull out like a fair wad of coin, more than people would usually expect to see.
Oh,
And I'm just
you're
like,
one of the weird ones, are you?
well, wealthy people usually have a problem.
It's all right, we have a room for that.
No, what I want, listen to my order, please. I would like a nice, comfortable room for myself and one for my friend here. I would like to spend the next couple of hours with bath water kept hot, soap and suds, food brought in, go fetch it from wherever, I don't really care. But make sure it's nice, and I'll pay you for it, obviously. Double whatever it costs. Treat us to luxury like you'd treat your most expensive clients. And if he wants anything in particular, I'll pay for it.
It certainly is interesting. All right. And he takes your coin and he immediately wanders to 2 rooms. He says, all right, time's up. Someone else is paying better. Kicks 2 of their regulars who are obviously probably skimpers.
Yeah.
Halfway through, looking very frustrated as they're sort of clamoring clothes on, just like, what do you mean time's up? You heard me. I know I'm going to have to kick you out again tomorrow anyway. Bugger off. Sort of comes back and says, all right, we'll take care of it. These 2 rooms will do you.
Right.
Did you say your friend wanted a massage?
Open-minded, Brick. You can have anything you want. My shout. Send in the biggest woman you've got.
And I would like the water.
This is
hot
a
as we
very
can get it.
important question. Any of the sex stuff for this one?
Only if he
Because
wants
who he
it.
gets is going to vastly change based on who can handle him.
Only if he wants it, and he can decide that over the course of the day in the privacy of his own time.
What's your taste?
Grupiška.
He's a virgin.
Really?
I suspect so.
Oh. Now this
I'm
ain't an
not one of the
opportunity
breeding
we get
stock.
very often.
You aren't one of the breeding stock.
No,
You ever want to be?
no.
Right, well, there you go. Just a massage for him.
That makes it a lot easier.
But very hot water. As hot as you can get it. Boiling.
And really try me.
All right. We'll do our best. Never seen that much money in the evening. Even a busy one. Any indication you're in? Any?
Have fun, Brick. Keep an open mind. Don't break anything.
Do you have a surgeon?
What are you intending?
I have a stab wound in my leg that needs to be seen to.
No, not in here. We expect people to arrive in one piece before they get torn apart, if you catch my
That is
meaning.
no way to operate a business.
Just don't. The key is just don't listen to him. He's got nothing much to say.
It's coming to me. and
Just
he
go
walks off.
relax and enjoy yourself. Brick, try and enjoy yourself with an open mind. Get a back rub, eat some fruit, and fucking relax.
Delvin and Catalina are rested in their comfortable
you didn't
tubs
ask me what I
well
wanted.
before Brick gets a chance to, because there's a lot more faffing around to try and half empty and fill up with scalding hot water.
like
And
ridiculously hot.
slowly all of the staff are being pulled from all the other rooms to actually cater to these very specific needs. But hey, they're being bloody paid for. As the security from the front door walks in with his sleeves rolled up and he says, "Oh, this is an interesting day, but they said none of the stuff. So if you ain't wanting a piece of me, then I can. I've got some experience working the muscles." He says sheepishly.
Are you ready for a challenge?
Always. He cracks his knuckles and he gets to work. And he's
Hey!
really good, really quite strong.
I feel like it should be a contested roll against my endurance.
No, that was a 13 destiny roll, and he's a strong security protector. So actually,
He's
like,
a massive bouncer. Just
he's got a
massaging
point
you.
in strength, and he's got a lot of, like, his grip check would be high because he
Nice.
throws people out. So actually, this is the most qualified person in the building.
Should we hire you?
He does a really good job, and it really loosens you up in a way that you've actually, like, you know, they don't take care of their phalanx. So you've never felt that there are knots in there that have grown tree branches.
Maybe Brick isn't dense. It's just like a collection of knots everywhere on his body.
He's just
Yeah.
like skinny and like
It's
short.
not like muscles, just lumps of knots. Yeah. But no, it's actually really painful, but not in an unpleasant way, obviously. And once you sort of get used to that and you become fairly certain he's not trying to hurt you, you notice, more than anything, you notice it limbers you up a little bit. You actually feel a freer movement that you probably are feeling like, okay, there might be some benefits to this, especially as the hot water just sinks into your very heat-resistant flesh.
I want this to be so hot that if he touches it...
He has to have you turn over and be out of the hot water long enough in the parts he's working so that his hands don't burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a special request.
Okay.
So so we've been here like half an hour, right? People are comfortable. I approach an attendant person quietly, anyone. I say, I've got a special order. I'd like one of the staff at the front or someone who's not working, to go and find me the best quality shank of cured meat you can find in this part of town, and honey. And I'd like you to, I know this sounds very odd, but I assure you it's a Phalancal delicacy for my friend, and I keep wanting to try and replicate it. So if you could get that and then some honey and just slather it on the meat and heat it up and bring it into him. No rush, we'll be here for a few hours, but bring it into him and say it's Kaprishka from Delvin. I hope he'll like it. I think he'll like it.
They indicate it might take a bit of time, but you've also indicated you'll be there for hours. And I'm going to say about an hour and a half later, as Brick feels, but you're probably in this weird meditative, distant state. Everyone's sort of like zoning out in bliss. And you...
Cat?
I'll just explain what I'm doing.
Okay, yeah.
After
Brick and Del, yeah. You actually smell something with your keen senses as the curtain parts with a timid person who says, I'm not normally asked to be cooking, but today is a very interesting day. Gaprishka from Gaprishka from your friend Delvin. Well, we've never made it before, so I hope it works.
Would you like some as well? It is very good.
I'll pass. She nods. I'm going to do... she's the best cook they had.
Yeah.
So I'll say she has a couple of points.
It doesn't need to be good.
I would say challenge level
Slather it in
3.
honey and burn it.
She got 2.
She did all right.
She did all right. It's not... It's... You know, the Gaprishka you had at Ainsley's, unfortunately, was the best you've ever had.
Yeah.
This is on the worst you've ever had, but it actually hints of Gaprishka.
Yeah.
Grapishka. Sorry, I gotta get used to saying it.
It's better than the slop they were eating for breakfast.
Yeah.
Tastes like effort.
It does. It tastes.
When a child bakes you a cookie.
The missing ingredient that was never in any Grapishka you ever had, which is love. Mm-hmm. Which it makes it all the sweeter, really, doesn't it?
There you go.
What's Cat doing? I'm so curious.
Okay.
The fan art for all of this, my God. Anyway.
So there's like...
Oh, you just wait.
It's bathtub, like barrel baths in our rooms, right? That's how Brick said.
Like Witcher. It's a big tub,
Yeah,
right?
cool. I'm double checking. So I turn to Jason Momoa and I say,
It's like, my name's Henry.
I'm just going to call you Jason. It's okay. I would love some alone time if that's okay. I kind of like take his hand, gesture for his hand, and I pay him a few extra coin and say, there's just a music box that I like to listen to relax. If you don't mind, would you stand outside and make sure no one bothers me for the next half an hour? Mm-hmm. Great. And I close his hand.
And he does, and off he goes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And what do you play to?
Cool. So I pull up my harp. I am going to play... So I imagine back in Venetia there was like sort of like public bathhouses, right? Mm-hmm. And it was all just super relaxing and steaming and beautiful, and like you could see like views of the ocean and just really relaxing and calming. And I kind of just want to play something that's pretty much describes that, or what I would have heard in the background.
It's even melodies that, like, because folklore is told through songs, and the origin of the springs, the hot springs of Venetia, has been told in interesting mystical stories that are obviously fables, but really fun ones that you feel reoccurring to you, and you never actually thought would in these lands or in these circumstances, and you play the songs of the bathhouses of Thaniska.
Cool.
And they echo nicely actually around these walls.
It's a very weird day for these people. I love
There's
it. You've
some-
improved my experience, Catalina.
Delvin and Brick, roll a perception check. I'm going to say challenge level 2.
Woo! Okay.
3.
It's an echoey establishment, so it'd be hard
That's
to not
fine.
notice.
It's just my music box.
Yeah. Yeah, there's distant music echoing through the halls. And anytime you glance or make eye contact with any person in this building, they look so confused. Just really like, just got a bonus and we're all doing stuff that we don't hate. So what is happening?
I love the idea of Jeff being like, I might upgrade the establishment. We gotta get a harpist. Like, just improve it.
Yeah, music would be nice in this place.
Well, Delvin has something he wants to do. Sorry. Sort of towards the end of this, or at least like half an hour or so, Delvin stands out of his bathtub with a wet sliding sound and wraps a towel around himself.
Uh-oh.
And then walks towards the music.
Oh no, what have I done?
Okay.
Good luck.
In short time, you find the curtain that is coming
Does
from.
he see Jason Momoa at the front there?
Jason Momoa is, sorry, Henry Cavill is standing out there.
Oh, God.
The fourth wall on this chapter.
That's a rock and a hard place to get stuck between.
There's a large, confused, but quite relaxed looking person standing outside with his arms folded and sort of glances across at you.
Catalina, I say through the curtain.
I'm in another fucking world. Like no.
You're still going? Okay.
I'm still going.
Okay.
This is the most relaxed she's been in a very long time.
I pitter-pat a few steps up and head towards Brick, where he is. Brick, outside the curtain.
Yes.
Are you decent?
It is nothing you have not seen before.
I step in. I see the Caprishka. Did you eat something?
Oh, there's none of that left. My face is just covered in like.
And now at this point,
caramelized
there
honey.
are two large men working his upper back,
And
like
he's just
both of
laying
them, just
there.
like, and one of them's holding like a large piece of wood that's smoothed off that has been improvised from somewhere else. They're just like
Like a muddling stick for a cocktail.
It's just a chair leg.
yeah. And Brick's just sort of like dangling over the edge of the bath, and looks up as you walk in.
Delvin smiles. I'm glad you kept an open mind.
And I appreciate you trying to get me Grupiszka. It is a good effort.
Well, as much as it's not fun to think about, I thought it worth enjoying some of the pleasures of life on what could be our last day on it.
I appreciate that. This is not something I have ever experienced before.
Well, if you like that, you should try sex.
I'm not even going to respond to that.
Another
The
time.
two men working your back just sort of go. One of them goes, "Yeah, that's right."
All right. You keep enjoying. We'll leave whenever everyone's ready, but we can stay the afternoon. And then I'd like to wait for Catalina to stop playing so I can harass her.
I'll stop.
Cool. Catalina. Are you quite comfortable?
Yes?
Are you decent?
Hop out of the tub, put it in the towel, rope, whatever.
Okay. Don't just do the sud pull.
Yeah.
Delvin comes in. And
I say, let him in, Jason. It's fine. I mean, Henry.
Delvin walks in and he's wearing a towel, and that is all. And he's very wet. And he takes a few strides in, light glistening off his muscles,
Wow.
and says, I'm sorry, Kat, for well, lying to you and everything that's happened. Of any one of us, I don't think you deserved it.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes I can never tell if you like me or you don't like me. Or do you just not like who I am or the person that I am or my culture or my people, or I just never really know.
Is that your way of asking?
Yeah, it is.
I like the Nissians well enough. They're a different people, but they're all right. They keep to themselves, and they're responsible for many of the joys in the Barrows, their music, culture. And we appreciate I appreciate their sense of sharing it. I believe culture is to be shared, and the Thanisians do too, if they do keep the best for themselves. But we all have our weaknesses. And as for who you are, I don't begrudge wealth. I mean, I'm pretty wealthy myself. But I think people in positions of power deserve, or should, do right by people and make the world a better place, and more often than not they don't. So I guess you've shown by your actions that you don't want to be like your mother, and you don't want to be part of that system. So I got no reason to dislike you, Kat. And as for you as a person, well, you've got fire.
Carolina smiles.
You're damn fine looking. You're pretty quick-witted, and you keep up with me bullshit. And you know what I do for a living, and you're still talking to me. So, as far as my list of people in the world that I like, you're pretty high, actually. And, after all, we touch tips.
That we have.
Right, bonding over murder. Always a wonderful one.
I never thought that would ever be something that would occur in my life, but here we are.
Gets easier. Say with a kind of fucked up smile.
Let's just leave it at the true, I suppose. Anyway.
So, I'll leave you to it when you're ready to leave. I'm sorry this place isn't up to your standards, but I figured...
No, it's been lovely. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you want me to plug me ears when Henry heads back in, I'm more than happy to for you.
Kat has nothing to say. She just stares at you.
You know, it could be our last day on Earth today.
You don't think we're that lucky? You think we're that bad?
I think we're pretty fucking unlucky.
I think we've got a chance.
All right. Well, you enjoy. I grab a spare towel in the room and chuck it over to her. Say, maybe wrap that one around your head, love. And then walk out of the room, turn to an attendant, and say, send everyone who ain't working to my room. I got business.
Oh, Catalina just clicked. Yep. Okay.
And that's where we'll leave that.
Okay. Fade to black. And the scene re-enters.
I was like, he wants me to dry my hair? Okay, that's cool.
Hey, you got first dibs. That was nice, but, you know.
Hey, I gave you first right of refusal.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to hit on Delvin, that was the moment.
It's fine. You enjoy your Jeffrey and your Jason Momoa and your
I want Jeff.
man with a...
Jeff.
You all eventually walk out of the establishment. There are lots of just expressions of amusement and some overwhelmed and a few quite entertained.
Do they have like robes? Like, you know, when you go to like
Yeah,
crown.
like those
Do they
silk
have
sort
like a
of like
little?
like a little
I want to
yeah.
walk out with like
Into the street with like your.
as long as I'm covered and don't look terrible.
They don't let you leave with them.
You're thinking
It's not that. It's not that
Carter.
you know, you have your old clothes back on.
Dang it! All right, it's fine.
But there's like a much sort of the most incompetent person, and the whole establishment was left at the door. It's just like looking really confused, like I'll never get this job. And he looks up at you all, and says, "I'm already hearing tales of your stamina." He says awkwardly at Delvin.
What on earth is he talking about?
That will remain a secret.
And the city is ahead of you. Hours have passed. Actually, the light is getting low.
I taught them all how to do push-ups. That's all.
Yeah.
Don't think too much into it.
Cool. Are we heading back to the... What's the
Yes,
plan?
we're going home, going to bed, eating dinner, sleeping, waking up the next morning, and going to Gelder Vale.
Nothing eventful happens, I assume.
Or do we no longer have time to go to Gelder Vale?
No, let's carry on. So let's fast track that evening because I think it can be pretty straightforward. But I think we should, you know, like there's a meal prepared. It's a boring meal. But to be honest, you're actually all so full from your late afternoon meal that your stomachs are quite full and happy of decent food. They didn't get it from this part of town. And you have been arranged to stay in some different boarding that isn't Collar's bedroom. It was just what was improvised on the day. So you know, nothing in this building is nice, but at least you all have a separate room. And everyone, when you return, everyone greets you like really friendly. Everyone's really like feels like family already.
Cool.
And there's quite a bit of festivity that evening. And you notice a lot of people in the corners sort of planning and plotting. And there seems to be a few people who enter through the course of the evening who maybe haven't entered this building in a long time and are met with like, like waiting and hoping that some people would be here. Delvin recognizes Teog, has been there from the, like, he arrived that morning by the time you guys left, but he's been there all evening sort of shuffling papers and talking to Collar and scrambling from table to table. But he is like a kid in a candy store. He's like, you know, looks like his dreams have come true. As clearly this is the heart of the revolution in Cragmouth.
I don't want to get stuck into this, but I think after tea and going upstairs and retiring for at least a few hours, Delvin will sparrow up and head down and represent and kind of be at the heart of the revolution.
Love that. And it's just like, do you know what I'm going to say? Not cheers, but actually as you step out, everyone goes silent. There's almost a reverence. It's like a witness to the legend that everyone is green, that they're ready to back. A symbol that they didn't realize that they could have and use, where they previously had tried and nothing worked. And you hear all the tales of how they had tried, and oh my, have they tried and fought and lost. But the spark is lit, and the inn is warm, and the sparrow is celebrated.
Try and set them on a course.
Absolutely. And that course is truly set. You actually do get a inclination from Teog that evening. Says, I've updated me papers and the guards are all over the place with what's happened in IRONSPIRE and all. They're having to take the more competent ones from outlying towns and take them in. They're reshuffling everything. So there's reassignment all over the place. But a recent one who I have heard, Russell,
Right.
has been assigned to Gelder Vale
Oh, isn't that funny?
to leave in the morning, it turns out.
What a coincidence. Looks like Mother is watching.
Oh, I don't know how you do what you do, but we've learned in the last week magic is real, and you lot, whatever it is you're doing, at least magic is happening as a result. And he like says that with fervor. And he leaps in and hugs you. Are you still wearing your...
I sparrow up.
Yeah. So
I'm
you're
full
still
costume.
sparring.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, he actually weeps and says, I'm going to be able to, if I ever have kids, I'll be able to tell them I held a sparrow in my arms.
There's a brief moment where Delvin closes his eyes behind his mask and is just like, if only, in his head, if only they knew the irony about that fucking name. And then they hug him back. And he's just like, oh, all right. Kind of in that moment regretting picking that moniker based on his life. But it's beyond him now.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you can feel it beyond you in this room because everyone feels something different slightly, but very strong and very deeply about what's happening.
Are you happy for us to like be in the room and witnessing all of this?
And you're a part of it, aren't you?
Now I'm just checking. Like I don't know. I assume. Like
I
Kat's
mean,
not
you're
gonna say,
in the building.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
I'm just saying.
Kat doesn't say or do anything. She wants to be a part of it and to be witnessing it.
Yeah,
but
you
she
can
just
go in
wants
the
to make sure she
bathroom.
feels comfortable being in the room.
Like you're not hiding it.
I'm the Sparrow. They know I'm the Sparrow. No one else knows Delvin's the Sparrow. If you want to be down in the pub, you can be down in the pub.
Cool.
I'm not hiding it. But I'm also not interacting with
No.
the two of you like a close companion.
That's what I
I'm
expect.
just keeping arm's reach.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. And the evening's proceedings continue until you feel like it's good for your rest to go to bed.
Cool.
Now, Brick, that night, you sleep and dream, and almost immediately, as soon as you fall asleep, as if returning to a place of familiarity that was almost expected, you're back in a little cell. And Medela's there.
Oh, I had hoped to see you again. This confirms it. Of course, I don't know what's happening to me, but these last few days I have used my dreams as a means of escape, to keep sane and perhaps to learn or at least relive the parts of my recent life that I've treasured, but it seems that there could be a purpose to it. What's happening? Since we last spoke, you have lived out a full day, true?
We have been recovering after a mishap in IRONSPIRE. We have recovered Geranti, who was being held hostage at some personal cost, and that it has been a long 2 days, little one.
I'm glad Auntie Ladra is safe. I should certainly hope to see her again. She was kind. As I recall, she was kind to you, Brick. Well, as far as kindness between the Phelan and the Phelan Cool go.
Which I've learned in most cases is not very far, unfortunately.
That is true. But it turns out, she looks at you knowingly, we are fast learners. Tell me, is there anything I can do to help?
Do you know where you are? Because we are planning to head back to Ainsley and put an end to all of this, but the more information we have, the better.
I know I am underground, as best as I can tell. There is no light. I woke up in here, but people walk down if they are to come down here, and it is not very often. There are other cells, but they are out of ear's reach. I only heard Mikey yesterday be dragged to his. That is all I know. I'm sorry, I cannot be of much help.
It is okay, little one.
Is there anywhere you want to go? Or maybe something you want to remember? A time, perhaps, that we have shared?
I want to do both. Like, if she can go anywhere in this dream world, that I'd like to try and find Ainsley. Or at least walk outside her cell and find out where it is.
Do you attempt to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it possible for us to find a way out of this cell? And
She looks at the other Medela on the floor. I'm afraid I can only commune with you while I sleep like this, and I can only visit places I have been. So, we can bang at the doors and there will be no sound. We can try and walk through and the world will not move at our beck and call. But she takes a deep breath and all of a sudden, you're in the tavern from several nights earlier. And there's a group of 4 people sitting at a table, each looking morose and talking about the future. This was the last evening that we saw each other. And as she says that, you become very aware that you're looking at Medela resting on Rick's arm, as you also now become aware that the other Medela that you're with, your guide, gently rests on your arm. It feels so real, Brick.
it was real. It was.
But now, you're really here with me. Why are you here with me?
I do not understand it. Delvin sensed some kind of magic in you.
I don't understand it either. All I know is I've yearned for what I've lost. I have ever since the burning of my loved ones, but strangely enough, even more so since I lost you all. She looks back at the table. How can I have known you all for under a week, and yet my heart breaks even more than... I can't say even more. My parents were good enough to me, but I don't think they ever really saw me. Truly saw me. And she looks up at you. I miss you, Brick. I can feel us being pulled apart again. It's the nature of these things, but I love you, and the day will come that I will stand by your side again. We will walk in a shallow stream together again. We will look for fish. I know it. And you will dance your warrior's dance, and I will swell with pride. No matter how proficient you may feel or not when you do it.
I will be with you soon, little one.
And she stands there with her arms around you. And you're not pulled away immediately. There's a good moment there. And slowly, gently, you feel the world around you melt away as you awake to the next day. And that, my friends, is where we're going to leave this episode.
Bravo.
We have to kill Ainsley.
It was all him.
He has to fucking die.
We have a lot of pieces that we need to put together, and a lot of attempt. We just have to find some advantage in all this. I don't know what it is. I have to find it.
That had ups and downs.
What a bizarre.
Yeah, wow. Do you know what, though?
That's fun.
It was fun. I feel like we really know these people. It's so nice.
Someone said in chat, like, the end of Reboot, as we're preparing, we're all training and working harder and getting supplies. The end of Sunder, we go to a brothel.
Can I just, I'm sorry. I do have to point out that, Triss, I did notice the word you banned in chat.
I saw it too.
Amazing. Anyway, that is where we're going to leave this chapter. Thank you all so much for joining us. That was chapter 21. I have a feeling there'll be 23 this season. I think it makes the most sense. We've got to let it breathe. So next week is not the season finale, but it's probably the semi-final. And we do have time for a bit of a patron after party. So the Dark Fox, we'll see you there.
And Professor X.
Oh, Tickle Duck.
And Yell Tris.
Inferno Shadows.
AJ Macy.
See you soon.
That's follow narrator Dave on Twitter in fucking
Binary?
Is it really?
Space 7 or something? It's a coding. It's a lang computer language.
Base 60. No, it would be 64.
It's something. But apparently,
Yeah.
someone commented in a YouTube video. They were like, you know that's this in this.
It's hexadecimal, probably.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. What were you saying?
I was going to say, like, if you want to hang out in our after party, hit up our Patreon and make sure your Patreon is linked with our Discord. And then
We
you
should
can
make that clearer,
have a
shouldn't
chat
we?
with
Maybe
us.
next time we'll open up with a little bit of the patron love.
Now, if I roll a 5 or 6 on this D6, will you give us an advantage for the finale?
Well, the
I can't.
the well
The
rested.
advantage is you have all of your stats up to
Come on,
scratch.
let's
You had
roll
like
the
a
dice.
level
If I get a 1, or
the-
2,
it's the
we
well-rested
get a
bonus.
penalty.
Yeah.
It's the well rested bonus.
Let me
Is
gamble.
there there's not a thing.
Let me gamble. Let's gamble.
Nah.
You don't want to gamble?
I just had a massage. I could feel like I could lift a horse.
Unfortunately,
Ainsley would gamble.
I'm not a gambling man, but
Ainsley, so.
Well, it's a good thing because
Unfortunately, you're not dealing with Ainsley yet.
Dalvin was about to play Ainsley's card. Look at the dice.
yeah, what was that?
They're all 5s.
All 5s.
Amazing.
Damn it!
All right.
That was in my nest of hands. Was a rigged dice.
Love it. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.